Success Insight shares the stories of the people with passion and drive who make things happen in the world. Here's your host, Howard Fox.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Success Insight podcast. Today is Mindset Monday, and you know what that means. We have Andrée Martin, our leadership, mindset, and golf performance coach, on the show with us today. Andrée is an LPGA Class A Life member, a nationally recognized top 50 golf teacher and expert, and a member of the Maine Golf Hall of Fame. Recognizing golf's value as a business tool in today's competitive marketplace, Andrée works with individuals, groups, corporate, or organizational clients to create educational and team-building programs that enhance the professional success of aspiring executives. Andrée, welcome back to the Success Insight podcast.
Thanks, Howard. It's always good to be here with you and to share even more Mindset Monday success stories and ideas so that everybody can improve both their golf games and their business and life.
Fantastic. And who knew there could be so many ways to slice and dice and discuss mindset? And so what's in store for us today?
Well, today's topic is 90 means nothing. And we've talked about going for the gold and not settling for silver in every single episode. And I feel this topic is very relevant right now in many ways. My golf professional that I've worked with was in the US Open qualifier, and round one was in the top 10. Very exciting opportunity for golf professional. And in round two, he shot a 90. For a golf professional, that's demoralizing.
A 90? I would die for a 90.
I know you would, and it would be like you shooting 120 probably. So it's all a matter of perspective, right?
Sure.
But for him, it was not a good thing. And what he took from it is that you can't let a round define who you are. His roommate just said, shut the heck up. You're really good. You shot a 90, so who cares? You cannot let a round define who you are. As a golfer, as a human being, as a person, it's not about the score. But yet, in many golfers' eyes, it is about the score. It's very relevant in that we just had a big PGA win where DJ, Dustin Johnson, a month earlier shot 80-80 in a round. Again, for a tour player, that's horrific. That's like shooting 90. And it's like shooting 120. It's very demoralizing. But yet, last week, he shot 64, 60, continued on to win the tournament, 30 shots under par. That's crazy. Setting all kinds of records. And then this past week, almost won again. It was at a playoff hole, missed the hole by inches, and John Rahm just sunk this big, huge snake. And that, for those of you that aren't golfers, it's a big, long putt, huge, long putt that broke several times, and he drained it. It was amazing. And so great players, great rounds of golf. It's been interesting this summer. I've seen a lot of the tour player wins with big, long putts, and it just says a lot about you coming back from a mindset perspective, realizing that it's not about the score. Very similar to the job where you are not your job. It's like you don't want to let your job define you. And it's very easy in the golf business to let that happen, as it is in a high-profile, high-level job.
I have a question. What does a 90 feel like to the golfer? What does it actually feel like?
Oh, it just brings you down to your knees. It's like you think you've prepared, you're ready. And we've talked about blow-up holes in the past. Well, it's like having 18 blow-up holes in your face.
Is there a reason behind the blow-up hole? Is it just, didn't get enough sleep, the low energy, the weather? I mean, what causes something like that? I mean, because he's clearly prepared.
Absolutely. And a heck of a player.
Sure.
I mean, he's a great ball striker, probably one of the best putters I've ever seen. It shows that golf professionals and celebrities are human. And it shows that success happens when preparedness meets opportunity, but yet sometimes it just doesn't happen. And it's all in how you react and come back despite it.
So with the roommate, basically saying, get over it.
Yeah.
What would other golfers in the group, in the hotel, wherever they were staying, what would they have said to him as well?
I'm sure there was some that said, oh man, you really blew it today. How are you going to come back from that? Because the tournament's not over yet, right?
Yeah.
And as a player, you're thinking, how am I ever going? I mean, why bother to keep playing? It makes you want to give up, right? It's like, why bother? I don't have a chance of qualifying, but you signed up for the qualifier. You signed up for the tournament. I mean, Dustin Johnson he didn't make the cut with 80-80, so he was done. But let's just say it's a 3 or 4 day tournament without a cut. So you'd have to keep coming back and grind and do your darndest just to maybe make a paycheck. And think about what COVID's done for people and what a lot of businesses face when things shift and change quickly. And even to go back to your question and comment about, well, how did you feel? Well, yeah, it's demoralizing, but it's more in how you react to how you just handled it. And we have days where we aren't in our rhythm. We aren't at our best. Women have an excuse, and I can say that as a woman, that we can call it a PMS day, right? But we all have days where our rhythms are not the same. And that's one of the things I love about golf is like every day your rhythm is different. How are you going to manage it? And how are you going to deal with the unexpected uncertainties that come at you or that you create?
So, I was just on another podcast interview, and the guest we were chatting about his new book. And the premise behind the book is we make our choices. Events are what they are, but we make a choice of how we're going to show up.
Yes.
Yes, I had the 90. What did I learn about this 90? Was it something I could have done different, or do I need to do something different? And with the interesting premise of the book, it was all in his or the individual's mindset. It was not that anybody else necessarily was wishing bad upon him. And so even in the business world, I mess up a presentation. Yeah, there was a lot riding on it. In the business world, depending on the company culture, leadership may not take kindly to losing a deal that they have hoped for. Other competitors within the business may see this guy failed, therefore he's a target now. We're free to go after him. But as a leader, if I flub up, I own it. I work with my team. What did I do? Here's what I did. Here's what I think happened. What can I do differently? What did I miss? What could I have done differently or need to do differently? Same thing with the golfer that you've described. Yeah, you got the 90. So what? What did you learn from it? And what are you going to do differently next time?
Right. Exactly. And how would you manage yourself in the moment of a bad round? How did you react and how did you manage and sustain yourself? And knowing that it could have gotten worse, but it didn't. But even, okay, the wheels are starting to fall off again. Do you stay on the train of what happened the last time you shot 90 and let this other round turn into a 90? Or do you shift gears and say, no, I got this. I'm a great player. I know how to play this game and I'm going to come back.
And I think you got to go back to your think box, go play.
There you go.
Play box is, what did you learn? What can you do? What do you have control over? What can you do differently that's going to make this round better? And it's going to put the last one behind you so that you come out stronger and more capable.
Exactly. And to your point of the gentleman, it's like, it's all about you. It's not how other people think about you. It's how are you going to manage yourself? Everything is a choice, right? Everything you react to is a choice, and what you allow to affect you is a choice. And that's where I'm seeing a lot of golfers having a hard time. It's like they're still wallowing on a shot that's already occurred. Once a shot happens, there's nothing more you can do about it. Right? What's done is done. Just like that speech you talked about, just like the executive that said, okay, let's try this because what we used to do wasn't working. we need a different way to make profit margins elevate. Let's try this whole different routing or project or product, and it might fly, it might not. So it doesn't fly. That's shooting a 90. How are you going to shift, evaluate, and move on and keep capitalizing on new possibilities that will create a better profit than you ever imagined before? And you learn and you write notes and you look at, okay, where did I miss opportunity and where are we going to grow from that by looking at all your statistics that you're keeping. So different from the numbers we keep on the golf course. It's like is it putting? Is it inside 50 yards? Is it inside 100 yards? Is it 150 and in? Is it my approach? Is it how I played? Is it penalty shots? What created it? Was it off the tee? All those different parameters come into play. And you just keep zooming in on those targets, you're going to hit a home run. I mean, Dustin Johnson going from 80-80 to 64-60 and then some to shoot 30 under par, all in less than 4 weeks. That's huge. And there are companies out there doing that right now. And that's who we need to pay attention to. Okay, who's doing it right and how are they doing it? What are they paying attention to that we're not? Where am I leaking shots?
And part of it too, I'm just thinking through because I just came off this other interview. In some ways, Andrée, I'm wondering, really, should I be worrying about what they did to crush it? Or should I say to myself, I or we, the team, we have the ability to crush it as well. What can we do? It's in our control to crush it. Let's not worry about what somebody else did.
It's all about taking responsibility. It's ultimately all about taking responsibility and owning it and embracing it, learning and moving forward. When you do that, you're going to succeed. It's going to come around and keep moving you forward.
Perfect. 90 really means nothing.
Don't let it define you.
Great points, Andrée. And thank you so much for being on our podcast today and joining me for another episode of Mindset Monday.
Thank you, Howard. It's always a pleasure.
Fantastic. So, Andrée, if our listeners would like to learn more about you and your work, where are the best places for them to go?
We can go to my YouTube site, Andrée Merton Golf. And I'm also on LinkedIn, Facebook, and andregolf.com is my website. Happy to help in any way.
Fantastic. And we will most certainly provide the backlinks to all of those sites, the website, andregolf.com, as well as your social sites, including YouTube. Fantastic. All right, folks, we have just been chatting with Andrée Martin, our leadership, mindset, and golf performance coach. And today we have been chatting about 90 means nothing. Look at the situation, look at what that 90 means, what did you learn from it, and what are you in control of? What choices do you need to make in order to bounce back from that 90? You stop that 90 in its tracks, and the next round of golf or the next meeting or presentation that you absolutely crush it. We hope you enjoyed this episode of the Success Insight Podcast. Please visit us on successinsightpodcast.com. We are also on the podcast platforms, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, as well as on YouTube, successinsightpodcast.com, Facebook, and LinkedIn, our Success Insight Podcast page. There you have it, folks. Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, go out there, have a phenomenal day. Stay safe, practice social distancing, wear a mask, take care of your family, and we'll see you on the next episode of the Success Insight Podcast. Take care now.
Success Insight is a production of Fox Coaching and First Story Strategies. Find us online, successinsightpodcast.com.